Seth, you guys knew this defense well. Obviously, they kind of had the same intensity, the same thing you guys saw last year. What was different, if there was anything different, facing them this year compared to maybe last season?
I wouldn't say anything in particular with the defense. When it comes to football, in my opinion, it's about us. It's about our team, and we just didn't execute as offense tonight. We couldn't get the drive started. We kept stalling out, three and out, three and out, three and out. Like you said, first half was like 30 yards or something. I don't even know the stats to be honest, but you know, you could feel the vibe going into the locker room at halftime. Just like, we need to get the drive started. So that was our problem in the first half. And second half, like you said, we got a couple drives going. So, um, you know, take that as you may. But
How frustrating was that? You mentioned it that first half where 0 for 6 on third down, 29 yards of total. It's just like no matter what you guys try, you just couldn't get anything going.
yeah, I mean, as a whole, everyone made mistakes. Myself, receivers, O line. I thought the O line did a pretty good job tonight picking up the twists and 500 protection and all those type of things. And then our backs, they ended up getting it going. Um, but we just needed to execute on third downs in the first half. We started so slow. That was our problem. Just didn't get the ball rolling coming out the gate, coming out of the lightning delay, and even before that in our first drive, just 4 plays and gone.
It sounds like you guys felt good coming into this based on what you had done in training camp. Like, is that the hardest part? How, in terms of, I guess, what you did in that first half, is that you felt pretty good about what you had planned coming into this?
Not necessarily, in my opinion. Like you said, I think we did have a good training camp, and our team is in a good mindset. I think they still are, even though that was you know kind of a bad loss. But I think the vibe in the locker room after the fact was we'll learn from this. Obviously, it's disappointing for our kids right now, but in the future, I thought we were pretty resilient down the stretch. Defense, they had 2 turnovers, and that's a big deal coming to the future. I trust Coach Barnes. I trust Coach Cramsey, and I feel like we'll learn from this. We'll get better, and offensively, just start faster. Um, we were okay in the fourth quarter, getting drives going, in my opinion.
Seth, what do you think has been, in your mind, one of the issues why the road has been kind of tough for you guys to get those, avoid those slow starts, you think?
Tonight, no excuses. Champions will play, but I guess the rain delay kind of messed up our mojo. But I can't really answer that question because that pertains to last year, and this is a new team. Um, so I guess we'll just have to find out next week.
But mentally, though, I mean, you guys did play last year, and those memories do carry over, I think. Sometimes can't carry over. So is it something where it's just a kind of a mental thing where if mistakes happen on the road, it just kind of messes with guys, or is it just trying to find a way to overcome, do you think?
I guess you could say just trying to overcome. But new OC, new team completely. So I guess we'll just have to find out.
Coach mentioned how that fight in the second half is going to prove beneficial or important to you guys because, like he said, one game doesn't make a season. You guys know that.
Yeah.
How good does that make you feel knowing that, look, we did get some things going as we now open what's the most important part of your schedule, which is conference play?
Yeah, I agree with him. I just trust him. We may have had an awful first half this week, but our second half was all right in my opinion, both defensively and offensively, playing against a good Mississippi State team. And like you just mentioned, conference play is what we're here for. And last year we beat Mississippi State, and then we're bad in conference play. So this game obviously it matters, for our morale and for our record at the end of the year. But you know, conference play is the most important thing in my opinion. So we'll learn from this and try and take it into conference play.
You guys are going maybe into this place you haven't been to yet. So what challenges do you think it presents for you going into a new environment where you may have seen some teams that are on the road, but not maybe in their stadium and kind of all their pageantry and whatnot?
New scenery. It's still a football field, in my opinion. And like you said, with the whole away game thing, a different crowd will be at every single away game, different stadium. But at the end of the day, it's still 120 yards and, 11 players on each side, and we just have to execute as an offense and have tunnel vision, block out the noise, and just try and execute our assignments, and don't worry about anyone else or their assignments. Just do your own job as offense, and we'll be all right. But we just need to execute better.
Does this feel like a big moment for this team already in week 2?
Talking about next week, or
Yeah, like you're talking about next week.
I
How
mean,
do you bounce back from this?
yeah, I think it's a big moment, but I could say that about every single game. But yeah, I think it's we have to win the next week. So, yeah, big moment.
Seth, when you see a guy like Jay just miss the entire spring, really only get healthy at the beginning of training camp, and to see him first time he touches it as a Tiger kind of busted. How cool was it in this night of disappointment to see his big play as he played as a Tiger for the first time?
Yeah, there's always good things you can take away from nights such as tonight, and he's one of the good things that you can take away. As you said, we didn't get to see him much during the spring, so just kind of getting him involved more. But he's going to be a great player for us, in my opinion, and he's a pretty positive guy. Always has a smile on his face. I think he can bring some good things to our program. So I'm just excited for the rest of the season and what he has in store for him.
With the passing game, there were some drops, as you mentioned. There was probably mistakes all over the place. With the wide receivers in particular, though, did the way you guys finish kind of take some of the bad taste out of some of those drops? How would you characterize, I guess, what that rapport is like coming out of game 1 with you and the wide receivers?
Yeah, I'd say, like I mentioned before, first half was just awful. And like you just said, after the second half or after the game was over, we got a little bit of momentum, got some drives. They caught the ball well and, had a couple touchdowns. So I feel like as the game progressed, they kind of got their mojo back. But it was too little too late, so.
Thank you, Seth.
Thank you, guys.